Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight, Thursday, April 4th, 2013. Overall, my thoughts on tonight's Impact. First things first, more wrestling tonight. Last week, they only had, one match in the first hour, and then have a second match to the second hour. This week, we had two matches in the first hour and two matches in the second hour. But when it comes to the show, it was okay. You know, the decent action, especially the exhibition match with, of course, a returning Petey Williams. Glad to see him back. Of course, we had, 8'S stuff, including, of course, Brooke Hogan and Bully Ray having a big confrontation tonight. That's actually how we started off. Impact with not that confrontation, but 8'S coming out to talk about it. Of course, all of 8'S came out the ringside. Devon and all getting ready for the big 10-man main event tonight. And they had a lot of business to take care of with Bully Ray not there, though. Bully Ray didn't join 8'S in this opening segment, but Devon came out saying that when Bully Ray does confront Miss Brooke Hogan tonight, they have this document that they want to show Brooke that would change the relationship. They're hyping this document up. Well, it was a wah. At the end, I'll get to what that document was in that envelope. I thought it was like a lifelong. I thought it was like a lawsuit or something, or like maybe like a document that said like you are forced to marry him or forced to. I thought that was it, but we'll see what it was later on. Then Devon, D-Lo, the VP, came out and said, TNA, you had the audacity to mail me my firing note, my resignation, my termination from TNA as a main office guy. You didn't have the balls to call me or tell me face to face. How about you, TNA, send out one of your officials and indeed tell me to my face why I deserve to get fired? When was a TNA official who came out? It was a TNA wrestler, TNA superstar, should I say, Kurt Angle coming out and saying, D-Lo, I'm going to tell you what I think of you. Well, I expected Kurt Angle to beat the crap out of D-Lo. That's exactly what happened. Kurt basically beat the crap out of D-Lo. And as 8'S was getting up on Kurt, here comes the members of his 5-man team tonight with Joseph Park, Eric Young, Samoa Joe, Magnus coming out to rally the troops, make it even, making a 5-on-7 because you had the 5 guys in the match. And then you had Anderson out there and D-Lo, so it was basically 7-on-5. But indeed, despite that small little numbers game, TNA did clear out all of 8'S, getting prepared for the main event this evening with the 5-man tag with Doc, Devon, Knox, Garrett Bischoff and Briscoe to take on Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Magnus, Eli the Oddball, and Mr. Joseph Park. Now, I'll tell you the match later on, but on to our first match, which was Knockouts Tag with Taryn Terrell making her in-ring debut, teaming up with Velvet against Gail Kim and Miss Tara. Now, we have no Knockouts referee because, of course, Taryn got fired. So, Brooke Hogan decided to try out Joey Ryan as the Knockouts referee. Hopefully, it's temporary because Joey Ryan was a perv, is a douchebag and a perv. Basically, all he did for the entire match was just look at everybody's focused on TNA. He didn't focus on the total non-stop action. He was focused on the tits and the asses of every single knockout. Most importantly, Gail Kim's TNA. So, there you go. But the action itself, Taryn Terrell, I don't know, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, did Taryn Terrell, a.k.a. Tiffany, ever wrestle in ECW when she was in the WWE branded ECW? Well, I bet you no one knows because, like me, no one gave a fuck about ECW after they fucked it up. But anyway, Taryn Terrell looked decent in just a few seconds against Gail. But indeed, Joey Ryan was not counting the pain, especially, but the match itself, despite Joey Ryan being an incompetent referee, and everyone thought Taryn Terrell was incompetent. Joey Ryan is. He's beyond worse. Taryn and Velvet was taking advantage of most of the match, and of course, even like Joey Ryan was hitting on everybody, including Tara, who almost had a fight with Jesse. But of course, the end of the match came when Aaron and Gail finally got it on. And then Gail kind of flirting with Joey Ryan, which led to, because all four women getting involved in the match. And with Tara getting distracted, Gail Kim rolled up Taryn, and Joey had a quick count, like a 1, 2, 3. So Joey Ryan helped Gail and Tara get the victory. You never thought Taryn was incompetent. Like I said, Joey Ryan's more incompetent as he basically handed Gail the victory by giving up that fast count. Well, Taryn will get revenge, as it was announced later on in the broadcast that Taryn will have a first one-on-one match in TNA against Gail. Tonight was a tag. Now it's going to be a one-on-one match next week with Gail and Taryn. Hopefully, they will have a different referee and not Mr. Joey Ryan. Speaking of matches that will take place next week, on with our next segment, which is a contract signing for the TNA Tag Team title match next week in Corpus Christi between Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, teaming up against Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. Now, Roode and Aries came out saying, "We've already beat you guys how many times? You know, you guys sick of getting your asses beat by us? Let's make it interesting. Let's add some stipulations." First, there was a joke stipulation, like winner gets money, purse, and fruit basket. But then each team had a stipulation. So the tag team title match next Friday on Thursday on Impact. Sorry about the flub there. I apologize for that. I flub a lot sometimes, but hey, I let it slide. I move on. The match next Thursday on Impact for the tag team titles will be a 2 out of 3 fall match. And I thought the other stipulation was going to be if Chavo and Hernandez lose, they will no longer get title matches as long as Aries and Roode are champions, because they've lost to him many times, especially last week, 2 weeks ago, getting screwed by Bad Influence, which led to the match last week against Bad Influence and Chavo and Hernandez that led to Chavo and Hernandez getting this title shot. Well, the other stipulation is not that. It's even more intense than just not only getting any title shots when Roode and Aries are champions. It's not getting any title shots, period, because the other stipulation besides the 2 out of 3 fall rule is that Chavo and Hernandez lose, they must break up as a tag team. So, like I said, I thought there would be like no title matches if they lose, but it would be like none, period, because they're going to break up if they lose. So there you go, contract signing for the 2 out of 3 fall match next week on Impact, along with Taryn and Gail, one-on-one, and as we all know, Jeff Hardy will be taking on Bully Ray in Full Metal Mayhem for the TNA World title. Should be an excellent night and should be an excellent main event. Now on with our next match, which was Gut Check with Adam Pearce. Where does that name come from? I might have heard a name before, but I don't know. Taking on Magno. Magno reminded me of somebody. What is he? Sin Cara Jr.? He bounced a bit. You saw like he was doing Hurricanrana. He kind of missed. And he nailed him. He was nailing a big high whisk move, and he kind of landed on his head. So I was like, what is he? Sin Cara Jr.? You know, I'll laugh if he's really Sin Cara's cousin. You know, even Dave said on commentary, is like, hey, luchadors have a tough time adjusting to American style wrestling. Tell that, like I said, to Sin Cara. It was a decent match for what it was. You know, Adam Pearce, very more athletic guy, more collegiate, amateurist guy. He did some okay things. And Magno, despite his mistakes, he did have some great high-flying moments with some great high-flying moves. But it is Magno was taking advantage. Adam Pearce took the cheap way to win after getting an advantage taken by Magno. Pearce gets the victory by rolling up Magno and holding onto the rope for leverage. But even if Adam Pearce did win the match, that doesn't guarantee he'll be the one that will get the contract or not. Well, we'll see who the judges decide will be the one to be delegated for a contract next week. Now on to our next segment. I kind of forgot to mention something during the Ace and 8 segment, which I've kind of been teasing for the last couple weeks. AJ Styles possibly joining Aces and 8s. Now, AJ Styles came back a few weeks ago and he hasn't done anything besides just attack James Storm and haven't said a word about anything. And He was given an Ace and Ace jacket last week, and now he was given it again tonight. The offer was there by Ace and Ace saying, Ace and Ace, no AJ, you've been screwed by TNA. You felt betrayed by the company. When you're at your lowest, they did nothing for you. Join us. You never went alone. So AJ was asked by Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan is in the middle of his war with Ace and Ace and need warriors, not guys like Sting in his mind, like politicians. Of course, Sting and Hogan's relationship still down the drain. Sting wasn't an Impact tonight, although he was there last week, and this is in the same fucking city. Anyway, Hogan said, AJ Styles, I don't know where you stand, bro. We need someone like you to help fight this Ace and Ace. So AJ came out from the ramp, not from the crowd like he did last week. He did still have that Ace and Ace jacket on him, and of course Hogan was like, AJ, man, I don't want you holding that jacket. I don't want you in Ace and Ace. Basically, he was like, AJ, I need you. Please, AJ. I need the dangerous AJ Styles that'll help TNA rally the troops to get these Ace and Ace out of here. But then here comes James Storm's musical. Storm's been very anxious about where AJ's allegiance lies as well. With, of course, AJ attacking James Storm because of that stipulation. Well, it all kind of makes sense. Hogan was the one that made that stipulation that AJ lost the match to James Storm in that match. To, if you get pinned, you don't get a title match until this year's Bound for Glory. So I would not be surprised if AJ joins Ace and Ace. I would not be surprised because, like I said, AJ says no Mr. Nice Guy. You know, I thought during that one segment when AJ was teasing to come back in Chicago during the first Impact Live, he was talking to someone at a bar. I thought someone was wearing a jacket that kind of looked like the Ace and Ace jacket, so I would not be surprised if AJ joins TNA, especially the road he's been traveling on with him being a rebel and a loner and a guy who doesn't trust anybody anymore. No one Mr. Nice Guy, so I'm not going to be surprised if AJ does join Ace and Ace. And Hogan says, AJ, you got 1 week, because AJ didn't say anything yet again this week. AJ's got 1 week to decide. Is he with TNA or is he in Aces and Eights? So AJ will make that decision, or kind of be forced to make that decision by Hulk Hogan next week. So there you go. Now, on to the next matchup, which was an X Division qualifier. I was kind of looking forward to this matchup with the return of the Maple Leaf Muscle, the master of the Canadian Destroyer, and former Clash Wrestling champion, of course, an indie company that was here in Michigan. Petey Williams returning in a triple threat match, taking on Mason Andrews and Sanjay Dutt. Now, Sanjay kind of redeemed himself last week. Sanjay botched a lot last week, and 2 weeks ago, to be more specific, in that TNA X Division title match. But he redeemed himself. Another spot fast, but it was a fun one. You know, Sanjay looked very good in the match. And I think Sanjay looked better than Petey tonight. Petey had only a limited amount of spots. You know, it's more focused on Mason Andrews and Sanjay Dutt. But Petey Williams did look good in the matchup for what he did with the high-flying moves through the middle and some decent moves. But Sanjay looked very good coming back, and Mason looked good too. But it was a very exciting X Division match, kind of a spot fast with of course, the finish coming from Sanjay and Andrews getting it on with them knocking out Petey out of the ring. So it was Mason and Sanjay in the ring with Petey waiting in the ringside area. Sanjay nailing Andrews with a move. He was going for that Warrior Stomp move again up the top, but Sanjay got back up after Andrews jumped out of it. And he got Andrews in a big move. But then Andrews tossed Sanjay out of the ring, and Petey Williams came back in the ring, and out of nowhere delivered the Canadian Destroyer and a 1-2-3 victory for Petey Williams. He's back full time, and Petey Williams qualifies himself for the next triple threat TNA X Division Championship match. So happy he won, even though he didn't look good in the match. But I hope that when he does wrestle in the X Division triple threat match against Kenny King, whoever else, hopefully he gets better time. He gets more face time, more time to look good. But I'm glad to see Petey back. The crowd was pro Petey for sure. So there you go. Glad to see Petey back. And he wins this match and gets a title shot against Kenny King and whoever else joins him in the triple threat X Division title match whenever that takes place. Maybe it takes place next week. There's all these title matches happening next week. The tag title match, the TNA World title match. So I would not be surprised if the X Division title match is also next week. But maybe not. because there's so much going on. So, there you go. Now, on with our next scenario, which is, I think it was the main event time. Yep, main event, 10-man tag. I thought it'd be some sort of DQ or something for the members of 8'S, but gladly we didn't have it. We didn't have it a DQ. We didn't have a silly ending. Well, nah, kind of, but not one that caused a DQ or something. It was of course Team TNA, comprising of Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Magnus, EY, and Joseph Park, teaming up against 8'S, which consists of Devon, Doc, Knox, or Nux as they call him now, Gary Bischoff, and Briscoe. Now, Team TNA really take advantage of the young guys first, with Briscoe and Gary being basically fed to the wolves as Angle and Magnus and Joe dominate on those two throughout the early going of the matchup. And Team TNA looked very good in the matchup. And even with Eric Young, the oddball, coming in, he even had control of Nux for a little while. But of course, despite that early rally from Team TNA, 8'S came, of course, flying back with cheap shots behind the referee's back, with double team moves and quick tags in and out. 8'S dominated the later half of the matchup, especially Knox beating the crap out of EY. But the hot tag from EY to Joseph Park, basically Joseph Park was the last guy standing because one member of 8'S, I think it was Doc, knocked out Angle, knocked out Joe, Magnus, and those three were knocked out, and Joseph Park was the last guy standing for Eric to tag. So Eric tagged in Joseph Park, and Joseph Park came in like a house of fire, beating up everybody. He was ready to go for his big move following getting down Knox, but then all 10 men got in there with an all-out brawl with referee getting distracted. As Joseph Park was getting himself back in the game, Knox came back in, giving him a low blow with ref distracted, so ref didn't see that low blow from Knox. He pinned Joseph Park after that 1, 2, 3 with referee back in the ring, and 8'S steals another victory with underhanded shenanigans as usual, but no interference. I thought like D'Lo was going to come out, or Mr. Answer was going to come out, called the DQ or something, but there was no disqualification finish tonight. It was a kind of a clean finish, with of course the cheap low blow distraction, with of course 8'S getting that and getting the victory. Now, speaking of aces and eights, we ended back with, well, the competition between Brooke Hogan and Bully Ray. Now, Brooke got security with her because she didn't know what was going to happen in this competition with her and her husband, Bully Ray. Basically, Bully Ray's like, you're legally still my wife, woman. Say, you're crazy woman, you know. I love you though, but you're crazy. And you're going to be my wife, and blah, 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 blah. You know, be the overprotective, over the egotistical husband, blah, 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 blah. And like, Brooke, there was a document. Well, like I said, the document that they were talking about, I thought the document was like a paper that said Brooke is legally forced to marry this guy. You cannot divorce him. But in that document was a front row seat to next week's Impact when Bully Ray faces Jeff Hardy. That was kind of stupid. That's like something WWE would do. Like WWE would hype something up and then have a silly ending. Like, ooh, here goes Million Man's bastard child. Oh, it's longer. That's what it was tonight. Like, I thought they were going to do something in this document to enhance the storyline. Like, oh, here's a document. Brooke is forced to marry Bully Ray and cannot divorce him. Well, it was a ticket. Stupid. And even Bully Ray made a comment about her. It was like, hey, Brooke, you let yourself go. Brooke whipped the ticket and slapped the taste out of Bully Ray. And I thought 8'S would come out and beat him up or something. But I know they wouldn't do that, especially to Hogan's daughter. But as Bully Ray was getting a little bit physical with Brooke, saying, you want to slap me again? Here comes Jeff Hardy, beating the crap out of Bully Ray. That's how we end it back, with Jeff Hardy and Bully Ray getting into a brawl to end it back as they get prepared for their Full Metal Mayhem title match next Thursday on Impact. With there being no DQ, no rules, I expect a lot of interference. Ace and Ace bet you will interfere big time. The TNA locker room, Jeff Hardy says, the locker room has my back. So indeed, I expect a full-out, Full Metal Mayhem, Full Metal War next week with interference up the ass from TNA wrestlers and Ace and Ace members to beat the crap out of either Hardy or Bully Ray, wherever each sides allegiances to. Ace and H the Bully, and of course Team TNA Locker Room with Jeff Hardy. So there you go, that's of course TNA review from Jones Ball. A little better than last week, more matches than last week, but I think they're waiting for, this is hyping up next week's card, which of course in Corpus Christi Live, with of course the main event, Jeff Hardy against Burley Ray, Full Metal Mayhem, TNA World Title, Chavo Hernandez taking on Wounded Aries for the tag titles, 2 out of 3 falls. If Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez lose, they will be forced to break up as a tag team. Plus, Terrence Ware and Gail Kim in a one-on-one match. Make sure Joy Ryan's not the ref again. And AJ will make his decision. And will the X Division title match take place next week? It says a big night. I would not be surprised, but I don't think X Division wants to take a back seat, especially with a TNA title match. That is it for my TNA Impact Wrestling review. Thank you all very much for watching. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. See you all later, everybody. Have a good weekend. Yeah. Go Blue in the Final Four. Go you, man.